or it's basically representing the creation. You can Google it and see.
Can you read it?
Mike, yeah, I'm going to the mic.
So spell it Vectra, Vectra.
Metatron. So there are so many symmetries you see within that. That's the beauty of this cube.
Also, you use this Metatron cube to show 13 circles or 13 points.
No, I just took it because it is something interesting.
Something esoteric.
The first sacred geometry or whatever.
Yeah, first sacred geometry. It's the oldest symbol.
I went to a consciousness hacking meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and there are these people who invent all these gadgets so that you can see all these geometries
Yeah.
by flashing lights. Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of people into that. Okay.
Sacred geometry is pretty sexy.
But there's conscious hacking.
Conscious hacking.
I wanted to show you the image where it says what it represents. Anyways, that's not so important, but see here. So it is representing, so middle is the sun and the four closer planets, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and then Moon, Earth, Scorpio, Leo. So many things. It's not related, Scorpio and Leo, but it shows that is the Metatron cube. So it's the oldest symbol, and basically they say that it shows it represents the creation from the beginning. So because we are looking at this geography question, which planet rotates the opposite compared to the other planets? Yes? No. Venus.
Very good.
We are not. It is a
Smarter than the fourth grade.
Everything you need to know you learned in 5th grade, 6th grade,
Fourth grade.
4th grade.
You know, that is why they say men are from Mars and women are from Venus,
Oh,
because
because
they're
we
always
both-
opposite.
And they come to that. And they both come to that.
Okay, we're getting some insights. We're getting some insights.
He was like that.
Might get it close.
They know that they want to know. Okay.
That's the only planet. Venus is the only planet which goes in the opposite of all the planets.
That's it.
Everything rotates in the anti-clockwise direction around the sun.
Somebody is trying to say.
But isn't Uranus like still tilted on its side, so it kind of?
It is tilted, but you know, it is because of its weight. Yeah. You know how the planets rotate? Have you seen in the mall, you put the coin goes round and round and round. So there is a fabric of cosmos. And the fabric, when a planet falls, The sun created a dip on the fabric because sun is the heaviest, right? On the fabric, wherever the planet is, accordingly the rotation is set. So it's like how the coin goes around, that's how exactly all the planets rotate around the sun on the fabric of the cosmos. You know, that's why even the gravity comes into existence because of the rotation, the centrifugal and centripetal forces.
True.
Yeah.
But why do they rotate around themselves?
When the coin is rotating, it rotates around itself also, right?
No.
Yeah. But there it is going like this, but here there are a lot of forces coming into the picture, so it has to rotate around itself and move. Both are happening at the same time. See, when the coin is going also, coin is rotating, right?
Coin rotates like this. It doesn't rotate around itself.
But that's how the fabric is for the coin.
No. When the coin goes. It makes sense when you're talking about the fabric and rotating around an axis, but it doesn't rotate around its own axis. The coin going down the thing doesn't rotate around its own axis. It only goes one direction down this way.
Yeah, but does it rotate?
No, it doesn't.
It rotates.
No, it doesn't. It rotates this way,
Yeah.
and that's it.
It doesn't rotate like
But that's straight.
it just rotates like this.
No, because there it's a shorter distance, you are seeing it is moving forward so
Are you
quickly.
talking about a Jordan?
Now here when we are locking,
Here's
come
the
on.
wise person talking.
Say that.
It's rotation and revolution.
Yeah, that's true. So if you're talking about the revolution around its own circumference, yeah, it is moving that.
Yes.
But if you're talking it's revolution around any sort of like horizontal or vertical axis, then that's not true.
So there is a universal gravitation
I know what you're talking
and there is
about.
a gravitation of the planet itself. So both are creating two moments.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Okay.
Anyways,
Alright.
pedagogy.
So now everyone is up.
Yes.
Alright, so Babuji, Maharaj. So how many knows the meaning of Babuji? Why is called Babuji?
Accountant, clerk.
Yes.
That's right, that's what
So,
I did my.
yeah, Babuji means a junior clerk, a junior attendant who keeps the track of records in the office. That is what Babuji means. And in India, a lot of people are called Babajis. You know, that is a different Baba. That means they are saints. Here, Babuji goes by his profession. So he is a junior clerk, and Lalaji means head clerk.
And Janaji means?
Daji.
So,
Sophomore.
Daji means Papa ke bade
so in a village, right? Everyone is addressed by their profession. So a police is called the Darogaji. You know,
You are your job.
your job, like you're a doctor. You know, you're whatever. So accordingly, you know, the village knows you with that name, with your profession. So that's how he is called Babuji. That's a good sketch to start with, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people call their father Babuji also in North part of
Yeah,
India.
That's what I was
That
like,
is also there.
Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah.
didn't know
it is
Yeah,
there
but that
too.
is not by profession.
Yeah.
That is by role. So this is the Babuji statement, the knowledge of divine is a science. So it is not a belief. So that is why, I mean, from the base itself, you know, it started, this whole teaching started as a practical system. And we did talk about the symbol Metatron cube, right? All right, let's move on to the next. You know, this is a title from one of the Charyaji's article, Babuji Maharaj's sketch. If you go to sahajmarg.org, you can read the whole article. Very beautiful presentation of what Babuji is. He basically said some, you know, the characters characteristics of Babuji or personality of Babuji. So he felt that a guru must set an example and do whatever he could to uplift those who come to him or who came to him. His Guru Bhakti devotion was something unparalleled in the long and ancient tradition of this country, and blessed all those who had the good fortune to meet him. You know, one Babuji made an interesting statement. He said, I'm very fortunate to found Lalaji. But had I gone to any other guru, I would have surrendered the same way I would have surrendered to Lalaji. You know? So what it says is, I mean, his personality. He has that innate thing. Okay, now if I accepted anyone as a guru, I should have given my full to him so that I take the full benefit of that guru. But he found the ultimate guru, that is his fortune. And we found the ultimate guru, that is our fortune. But the question is, are we making use of him the same way? Right? I mean, we all should ask for ourselves and see if we can make a difference in our lives. So for him, Lalaji is the summum bonum of existence. What is summum bonum? Everything. It also means nothing can be added, nothing can be subtracted. You know. So when this universe is created, when whatever manifested, the first show, the first Big Bang, after whatever has been done after the Big Bang, they say nothing has been added, nothing has been subtracted. So the total is always the same. That means whatever happened afterward is the inner manifestation. One thing changing to other. Energy converting to matter, matter converting to energy. But if you add up the whole thing, it always remains the same. Right? This idea becomes very important once we start getting into the subtleties of the existence and the changes, even spiritual progress. Right? In fact, Lalaji made a very bold statement. If there is sin, then there must be sin in God, because He is part of you and you are part of Him. So sin is not something separated from Him or you. So there is no one to judge you. Because if He is part of me, I am part of Him, how can what He has, I don't have, and what I have, He doesn't have? You know? So there is no separation. What it means is, basically the whole idea is there is no separation. So the summum bonum means there is no separation. He was the spiritual teacher par excellence, who taught by personal example. So he lived by example. Once, Master said, if any moral quotes, moral teachings came into existence, is because someone lived that life and showed us what they can become by living such life. So it is any examples or instructions around character, around how to live, around how to behave. If anything came into existence because someone lived that and showed the difference. His life was an open book. Nothing was hidden. He put it open. his feelings, his ideas, his teachings. Everything is open book. He taught with a gentility of manner, rarely making any direct demands. He never made any direct demands. Even to criticize someone, you don't even know that he criticized you. So, but his idea is why? Because he said he made any demand as a suggestion. Because if a master demands, of that caliber demands, and you don't follow, it has, the effects of it are not good. So he never wanted to put anyone through that burden, so he never made any demands. He said, okay, probably you might want to do it like this. Everything was a suggestion, a general suggestion. Okay, I'm not telling you, I'm giving you a general suggestion, so that I don't have to bear the burden of not obeying. So he was, even there, he was very kind, never made any demands. His ethical precepts were always delivered as indirect teachings and never blamed anyone for any fault. Right. So when his, Babuji Maharaj, when they constructed the ashram in Shahjahanpur, this is all what we heard from Master and sort of, gathering those thoughts as this presentation is happening. He said, someone said, Babuji, you should have constructed this particular wall this way, or you should have put this color, or something like that. Someone makes a suggestion. Babuji would say, I am sorry, I should have consulted you before, but now it is done. That means I don't need your suggestions anymore. But he was nice, So he was always indirect. That's his personality. I think some of these things are not nice to record, I guess. That's okay. It's all for us. So, in spite of his slight and slender build and meek and gentle manner, he was a veritable lion at heart. And where his purpose, the spiritual purpose was at stake, he brooked no interference. So he never allowed any interference. So when it comes to normal dealings, he was nice. But when something profound, spiritual, he was serious. He knows his business. He had an indomitable courage and dedication. If anyone wants dictionary, we can look at dictionary for these words. This is Master's writing, right? Chariji. That's his English. Courage and dedication to his chosen purpose. And he would sail on serenely like a Leviathan at sea. You know what Leviathan means? Girls?
Sounds like
What is
something
Leviathan? Levithan. You should know.
She's Googling it.
She's Googling it. I can tell you, it's a sea monster. Yeah. It's a sea monster. Means, these sea monsters are so huge. Even if the mountains come, there are mountains in the sea, right? Ocean, right? They just break through the mountains and go, nothing can stop them. They're so huge, Levitans. They're fictional characters. They don't exist.
I saw a picture of one in the book.
Oh, you have a book? A Levithan's picture?
Yeah,
Real one?
big one.
Okay. I would like to see that. So he was a Leviathan at sea, means nothing could stop him. Oblivious to all obstruction, bent on plotting a straight course to the goal against all odds. So even no master's life is a smooth sail. They had to be Leviathans. And that is also an example for us that we have to become that Leviathans. So against all odds, no matter what, we do our practice. In fact, Daji was emphasizing on that, when I was with him in December, some of the talks he was saying, life always has challenges. Life always pulls you down. There's something or the other comes up, which pulls you down. But that should not stop you from practicing. When we sit for meditation, drop everything, all your problems, all your greatness, all your faults, all your weaknesses, and connect to that essence. Nothing should matter, nothing should stop us. So, as far as my spiritual practice is concerned, my life should not have any influence on it whatsoever if I am a Leviathan. That's the whole idea. And who has no problems too? Everyone has problems. The rich and the poor and the healthy and the weak. See, Babuji said, a fool should have a lot of courage to live this life than the intelligent man. Fool is more courageous because he has a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to drag on his life more courageously than a normal guy. So the sole aim of his existence was to fulfill its purpose, its divine purpose, and the promise made to his master, Lalaji Maharaj. And this was the guiding beacon, the indomitable courage which derived out of his total faith in his master. So he never doubted that something cannot be done, because he said the agency which is acting behind him is capable. That's the faith. In the Sufi stories, they give this example where some guy promises rain, in a town, because rain is a big thing. All these people used to live in deserted areas, right? Desert. So rain is not so a frequent phenomenon. So one village never had rains, and they are going through famine. And one guy says, I will bring rain to this village, and all of you gather in the afternoon at some point. And one girl, except everyone, one girl brings the umbrella. So she has the faith. And they say that faith brought rain, not the saint. So faith is important. Faith is, basically a total trust. So he started his mission in response and obedience to the orders of his master in year 1945. So he basically registered Sri Ramchandra Mission on his master's name as a non-profit organization. And of course he started from scratch. He's the only guy when he started. Imagine what it is today. It takes a lot of courage. With no support, nothing. Somebody pointed to me that in Babuji's diaries, 2 years are missing. That means basically he did not write those 2 years. Because after establishing his mission, he traveled all around India by himself, going from place to place, cleaning, transmitting, preparing the field. And slowly the Abhyasi sprout in those places. So That is his work. He did not say, I need 100 volunteers, 200 volunteers, I want this, I want that. He just went on and on and on. And he established. So he has built an empire of spirituality that now illuminates, encircles our planet. He gave of himself freely without reserve. And the result, as he would have said, it is there before you to all of you to see. In fact, he said, there is no charge because it's already with you. So they are not charging to give you what you have. I mean, it is not easy to take what we have, because we are not in a place to comprehend. So there is, there's always, they say a story, right? A beggar, in the beggars in India, they put a, what do you call, the charpai, how do you say the charpai? A mattress. And they sit on it. Mattress, they sit on it, and people throw the money, and they slowly gather the money below the charpai. And suppose it is said that that beggar is sitting on a treasure, and that land belongs to him, but he doesn't know that there is a treasure underneath him. He is begging. Okay. Something. We are in the same place. We say God is within. Then we ask a question, how am I progressing? Because if it is there within, if I am connecting to Him, then what is progress? So one BSc, he called me and asked me, we talk about goal in Sahaj Marg, in heartfulness. And we have about 200,000 people practicing this system of meditation. And can you tell me how many of them reach this goal? If master or a few handful of people have reached this goal, then it's already, my chances are bleak. It's like buying a Powerball. Okay, I don't want to play a lottery here. That was his, it's a sincere query. So basically I told him that if you understood the system of meditation or the system of practice, what do you meditate on? The essence, right? And every time you meditate on that essence finds you. That essence connects with you. Whether you like it or not, you are, what the transmission does is, it puts you in a state where that essence is. It puts you in a state where that essence is. That means, every time you meditated, or every time one meditated, there is the goal. The sad part is we don't remain there. We open our eyes, our attention immediately goes to the cell phone, WhatsApp, Facebook and whatnot. We come out of the goal. It is not the fault of the meditation. It is fault of our attention. Right? So every time we meditate, we are already with the goal. That means we reach the goal. So then I told him, everyone who meditated have reached the goal. That means if 100,000 people have meditated, they have already reached the goal. Okay. If reaching the goal is the criteria for you. Right? It is not some handful of people have reached. Every meditation we are put in state of goal or put in touch with goal. Right? So now, are we progressing? No. We are reaching the goal every time we meditate. Progress means, short steps. If I make the final step in one go, then where is the progress? So we should not be even thinking in terms of progress, if you ask me. Okay. At the lunch table, I totally gave a different answer. Every time you ask me this question, I give you a different answer. Right? So now since we are talking about pedagogy, teaching style, so one of his key contributions or key essence of teaching is his 10 maxims. Right? So how do I look at these 10 maxims? How many have to been to Chennai in summer? Right? And how many of you have taken hot bath in summer in Chennai? Hot bath in summer. Hot bath.
The water in the tap is hot.
Huh?
The hot water.
Water itself is hot.
Boiling hot.
It's hot.
Boiling hot.
Okay. So, even if you take cold water bath, I mean ice cold water bath, the moment you finish your bath, you are sweating. So it is very unnatural to really do a boiled hot water bath, right? I mean the regular hot water bath we do. It's very unnatural. Why? Because it is not, congenial to that environment, right? So, as the environment is, if my action is according to that environment, then the result or output of it is congenial, palatable, however you want to put it, right? Similarly, I mean, if you read the 10 Maxims introduction when Babuji gives, he talks about creation. He talks about how this whole thing came into existence. And talks about heat. Okay, that heat which is manifested at the original creation became a latent power in the environment, in the planetary system, in a human system. So now if we look at the planetary system which revolves around the sun, day and night, we have day and night because of the rotation of the planets. And a day, supposedly as the day passes, the temperatures rise. As the day goes, the temperatures go down and reach a balanced state, and then again there is a sunrise and there is a sunset, which is a common thing, normal thing we always observe, right? So what is changing is the heat. As the heat changes, the inner movement of the particles accelerates as the heat goes up. Their momentum increases. As the heat goes down, the momentum decreases, right? So then he talked about a state called Sandhi or Sandhi Gati, Sandhi. Sandhi Gati. Sandhi Gati means, truly speaking, a meeting of two, Sandhi means, or you can also put it as a transition state. So from day to night, night to day. So when at this transition state, his observation is the nature is at certain balance. And if I meditate at that point, it has certain effect or more profound effect than meditating later. So if you look at the maxims from that perspective, so these maxims, if you see, they start from the day how you should start your day, and how the day should progress, and how the day should end. That is all it talks about, right? according to the change of the atmosphere from day to night. Correct? Rise before dawn means at this state the nature is at balance. Offer your prayer and meditation at a fixed hour. Preferably completing them before sunrise. Have a separate place and seat for meditation as far as possible. Develop the habit of sitting in one and the same pose. Give special attention to purity of body and mind. So, there's so many instructions here. Rise before dawn. Okay? And offer your prayer. That means as soon as you rise. Okay? With minimal activities, start your prayer. Don't go for a jog, run and come back and then do this. As soon as you get up, with minimal things to attend, and start this prayer. You know? So what is prayer? We have our prayer, right? Thou art the real goal of human life. We are yet but slaves of our wishes, putting bar to our advancement. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. And you know, this prayer was given by Babuji himself. He said it is dawned upon him. And more interestingly, I don't know how many of you know this fact, that it dawned upon to him in English. Later it got translated into different languages. So original prayer was in English. Okay. And then, so you offer the prayer means, what is prayer really means? So I'm sort of making that connection. I'm sort of creating that state, a condition in my mind before my meditation. Okay. There's a more elaborate discussion we can have on the prayer, but later, sometime. And meditation at a fixed hour. So we fix our time every day. Again, before sunrise. And have a separate place and seat for meditation. This is also, in a certain way, plays a very important role, if I can manage it. And most of the time, right, you know, we are situated in the same place unless one is traveling. I'm at my home, so I have a specific place for meditation. So what happens is, if that specific place, if I have, my mind is conditioned in such a way, if I go there, sit, I automatically think of meditation. You know, you can see that different places. If I go to kitchen, I would like to make coffee. You know, if I go to bed, I would like to do something. If I go into my TV room, then obviously I would like to watch TV. So 99% of the time, what happens if I'm meditating in the TV room, as soon as my meditation is over, I'll turn on the TV. Even before sinking into that condition. Because it's a natural tendency of that place, of that atmosphere which I created myself. So have a place, separate place, you know, so that you're not disturbed. You know, I don't know how many of you have been to Spurs. There's a meditation room in the Spurs. It's as small as this cube for you to sit and meditate. Because it is, I mean, I don't know, the master probably chose that room. Reason, because if you are sitting in that room, there's nothing you're looking at, you're just looking at a wall. You know, so that does, that probably it creates the least impressions for you, so that you can slip into meditation. It's always a tendency, right? I mean, my tendency, if I'm sitting in front of a bookshelf, there's no way I can meditate. Absolutely impossible. Because my attraction, right? So it is good to find the right place in your home and meditate at the same place every day. It creates certain atmosphere condition, of course, right? And as far as possible, develop the habit of sitting in one and the same pose. Even the pose, not only the place. You know, if you're sitting on a chair, sit on the same chair in the same way. If you're sitting on the ground, holding your legs, do that. Whatever. So, but the same pose. Now the last point, give special attention to purity of body and mind. So here purity could be taught in many ways. What is purity anyway? Right? So here the best way to think of purity is, imagine that you are fully connected with that higher essence. Okay. So now here we are not talking about what is impure and what is pure. All that I am doing is my mind, my attention is connected with this higher essence, which is supposedly pure. And then I don't have to think of any other purities and impurities and opposites, right? So it's simple. So there's so many instructions here, but so one by one, if I can, manage and come to a state of meditation, then it takes over. So I was, living with one Western prefect for a few days. So we would exchange the sittings. So I would say, please start meditation. And he would say, please begin meditation. And then later, he said, start is Englishly incorrect. It's incorrect in English. You should say begin. Then I said, Master always said start. Maybe, but it is incorrect English. So then I told him, I think start is the correct English. Then he said, how? I said, do you begin your car or you start your car? You start your car. So that means once you start your car, start engine, the starting the car means the ignition. When you start, your car engine starts. After that, you don't have to do anything about it. Okay. So when I begin something, that means it's a continuous work. Okay. So correctly, when I start my meditation, after that I don't have to do anything. I just have to wait. Okay. And that inner essence finds me. So meditation is all about observation and absorption. I absorb what is coming back, what is that essence is giving me back. And I observe what's happening in my meditation. Right? So, start is the correct word. So I said start is the right word. So begin means I have taken some responsibility over me, which I don't want to. Right? But Babuji said in the maxim, begin your meditation.
So both are correct.
Begin your meditation with a prayer for spiritual elevation. Of course, we already started with the prayer in the first step. And offer prayer in such a way that heart is filled with love. How do I do that? So here, let me ask another basic question, why love? Why there is a need for love, especially when it comes to guru and disciple relationship? right? I mean, love should be everywhere, but now in specific to this state. Because, see, suppose I go to a doctor and doctor says you need to be operated, something is wrong with you. And what do I say? Yeah, please do it. And then I go voluntarily sit on the operation table. I let him cut open whatever is cutting open, right? And what I do is I allow the doctor to perform that operation. In another sense, I cooperate with the doctor for my own betterment. So here, what I'm doing is with the doctor is in a very mundane sense, in a physical and emotional sense by being present there. Of course, I'm giving anesthesia so that I can be comfortable, right? So, but in this situation, when master is performing or doing his work on me, there is much more cooperation is needed. And that cooperation is possible if I have love for the master. So in a sense, prayer full of love means I am expressing my interest for that progress, for the transformation. I am expressing my cooperation with him. That is, we call it love, right? So like you see now, we finished our second activity in a day. We began our meditation. And then we are fixing our goal. Then simplify your lives. Now after meditation I have to come back to the reality, my job, my life, everything.
Can you expand on that one?
Which one?
Complete oneness with God.
Fix your goal, which should be complete oneness with God. See, initially, to me, it's only information that there has to be complete oneness with God. I have no idea, no clue what it means, right? Initially, I assume, okay, there is some state I need to achieve that has to be oneness with God. Okay, and I also assume that something which is far away, far away and far of my reach. And we start. And then there is a transmission from this Guru. And in the first meditation I feel it. There's something profound happened. But yet I don't recognize that I am with the goal. But it is profound. I hold on to that state. We spoke about constant remembrance in the morning. I hold on to that state because it's profound. I've never experienced it. And that condition is created throughout the day. I continue with that. So next time when I'm meditating, I already have the memory of that deep meditation. I probably feel like having the same or more profound than that. With that interest, I go into my meditation. So now that what I experienced has automatically become my goal. Though I don't realize it as the state. So slowly my understanding of that big goal is changing as my experience of the same is enhancing. Right? So automatically I'm fixing my goal every day. Right? But I mean, from a very practical sense, if I have to see. But if I sit in my meditation, I say, oh, mergence with my God is my goal, I have no clue what it is. But at least I have some experience to back it up. And I'm trying to reach at a minimum that. So now simplify my life so that there is less burden on my condition which I created in my meditation. Be identical with nature. Always truthful, act of miseries as coming from God. There is a slide I have, we can talk about that. Did I miss the other? Okay. So, if you see as the day progresses, what I should do till my bedtime. Again, bedtime, do your prayer and go to bed. So that is 10 maxims. It is basically, it is giving a program, activities for my entire day. Right? So I'm not going through each and every maxim. There is some importance of 10 maxims, some few statements from Chariji. So mostly if you read this, it talks about what it does precisely, these 10 maxims, by adhering to them. It creates certain balance in my life. So unlike morning, there are not many questions coming up. Afternoon, I guess everyone is sort of slipping into sleep.
Maybe you should ask.
Huh?
You ask for that.
I'm asking, yeah.
Ask everybody to get up and sit down. Let's see how many do it.
Yeah, let's make everybody stand for 1 minute.
Everybody stand for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jumping jacks.
Please stand.
Take couple of minutes break and come take some.
No breaks.
Huh?
No breaks.
Nobody will come back.
Yeah, nobody leaves.
Boss is going to the Starbucks.
The 11th maximum.
You should have had coffee now.
Yeah, I'll give a simple exercise, everybody. Just stand up like this.
Just down for a little.
When you move down, you breathe out, right? Breathe out and breathe in.
Only thing is, I'm not getting up.
Let's do it 5 times and you'll be good. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Now push it. Now what?
Now you say you're all elevated.
Now, your turn.
See, like I said, personally, I don't have any agenda what to share. Though I have these slides, unless you ask.
So you added so much to my reading. I want to read 1 chapter every hour.
Oh yeah, it's good reading. See, the thing is, how we should read complete works is read one passage and reread the same passage. The third reading will give you some understanding of what it is.
I'm reading paragraph.
Yeah. Okay, same paragraph you should read 3 times minimum at least.
How do you read whispers? Same thing.
How you read whispers, the same thing. To me, what happens is, when I go to office, I open the whispers, it's on my screen, I read it. So a lot of times, what I used to do is, every time you work, you want some distraction, right, from work, you go to some same whisper. So before my day is over, I would have read the same whisper at least 10 times. So it gives you a different understanding of the same. Some whispers, you feel like, there's probably nothing much. You can skip and go to the next whisper. 10 maxims. So they are essential to create a balanced life in the seeker. So the true importance of the following the 10 maxims of the Sahaj Mark system can hardly be overemphasized. Sadhana means practice, has two wings. It is foolish to think of the two wings is only represented by the material and spiritual elements of life. So it's very.
Can you elaborate on that nature? The first one.
Which one?
Adopting natural traits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that line. Adopting natural traits, everybody nature has.
To attain this inner balance by adopting natural aids available in nature herself, my master taught that if one molds one life according to them, then the character formation itself becomes extraordinarily easy. So, I mean, it's a loaded sentence, right? So, first, if we talk about character formation, there's so many things, when it comes to character. There are about 36 points given by Lalaji about what character is. I mean, if you look at it, it's a bit hard to think mentally and follow. Then the second is, if you look at it in another way, from another perspective, this character, all these points are very natural of the self. When I'm referring the self as a capital self, the embodied soul, Jivatma. But because of our own desires, you can call it, aspirations, you can call it, we alter that natural self. In fact, once Charyaji pointed that the nature experiment of creating humans have failed, because when the nature created humans, it did not think that the human can develop a desire and fail the whole program. It's like a virus. So the nature's experiment has actually failed. So what is in tune with nature means I am expressing the character of that natural self is in tune with nature. Right? So a lot of times this is a common question, what is in tune with nature means? What is in tune with nature means? Expressing the same, the characteristics or character of the natural self. We altered it, not because of grossness, not because of anything else, because of this virus desire. We altered it. We altered the program. And we as an experiment are failures. So now, if you go back to all the activities which these 10 maxims are prescribing, if I can try to adhere to it, I am bringing that natural character back into myself. If I can. Or at least I can try. Right? All right.
So natural aids.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about.
Naturally is the innate character of
Characteristics.
myself.
Capital S.
Capital S, capital self. See, for example, we talk about, so now I go back to, I think I have a slide. All of us know this. We spoke about the first one this morning, so I don't have to repeat that. If you see the third bullet point, the end of reality is the real bliss. What is bliss anyway? Bliss is the natural character of the soul, Brahman. Right? It is not something acquired. Suppose if I am happy, my happiness is because of something. Right? So my happiness is because I got a better job. I'm happy until I step into the job. Right? Right? And so I was going to tell you a joke, but I felt it is not appropriate. But anyways, so
All adults get that.
so anyways, so all these characteristics as we discover in our spiritual journey, they're all natural traits. Nothing is unnatural happening there. What is unnatural is the life we are living right now. The state of existence we are living, not the life. Not the life, I mean, to go into the job, family, that's not what I'm talking. The existence. The state of existence we are in is unnatural. So the bliss is the natural characteristic of the Brahman or the higher self. Right? So when I attain that state of existence, what comes to me is natural is bliss. I don't have to look for it. Right? So again, this is the part of action and inaction. In inaction, the result of inaction is natural. The result of action is unnatural. We spoke about the action and inaction in the morning, right? Action is action, performing an action with a reaction. And to that reaction, performing another action is action. And inaction is action without reaction. Means whatever the result of that inaction must be natural. So there is no reaction required for it. Okay. Reaction is only for unnatural things. So if my system is always reacting to something, that means I am in a state of unnatural. Okay. If I am thirsty, I take water. There is an action. And it quenches my thirst, which is a very natural thing. Okay. But something else, if I want ice cream, then it is unnatural. Then you can still have ice cream, but what I'm saying is, it is unnatural. The result it produces is also unnatural. Okay.
He's worried. Dairy Queen will
So the end of spirituality is the beginning of reality. What does it mean?
I'm just going to ask you.
I mean, try to answer it. I mean, we have been reading it, for the last 20 years of our practice, right? At least we should have an idea what it is. So we spoke about where the religion ends, spirituality begins. The idea of ending religion is ending transaction in our mind.
Yeah.
When transaction ends, my spirituality begins. So what is the end of religion is the beginning of reality. Sorry, spirituality.
So before we move on to the next thing, can you talk what is spirituality from your standpoint?
Spirituality is from my extrovert approach of the mind. I'm going to the intro. I'm turning my mind towards inwards. Inwards to my essence.
Higher self.
Higher self. So that is spirituality.
So going to reality, beginning of reality is no action.
The end of spirituality is beginning of reality.
Nothing, no action now.
That is first. No action. Non-action is only first one.
Duality ends, the spirituality ends.
That's beautiful.
Duality ends. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beginning of wonder, beginning of things as they are, seeing things as they are, going beyond.
So we gave this example, right? So if I'm looking at the pot, am I looking at the pot or am I looking at the mud? You know, the car.
Yes.
The classic example is given in any Vedanta text. But that's not how I can see the reality.
Essence.
Okay?
Going beyond.
So there is no I.
You know, I goes all the way to the last point. It doesn't end so easily.
See the thing as it is.
Yeah, but what is that as it is?
Once we
Essence.
complete the spirituality.
Right.
Essence. Seeing the essence. Seeing the divine.
Cannot be described.
So, I mean, look at it this way.
As it is, as it is.
We can't describe it.
Is it some kind of emergence or being part of something, you know? that
Let's
we
look
can
at
only
this diagram,
become
right?
After that process. Sorry?
Let's look at this diagram. So what we see is the stages of Maya, the 5 circles. This is the circle diagram which is given by Babuji. And then the 11 circles, the cosmic region, central region, center. They say, you know, the 2.5 points, the 2.5 circle is the point of liberation. And when at the end of all the 5 circles, they say we are out of Maya. Okay? So, all the way from Maya, which is the whole cosmic region, you can call it, when I come out of Maya, illusion, my reality begins. Right? In fact, the point 10 is Ishvara Mandala. You know what Ishvara means? Ishvara is the Trinity according to the text. The creator, the protector, the destroyer. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. It's a functionary of the nature. As long as I am under the influence of Ishvara, I am under the influence of Maya. When I cross the Maya, my approach to realization begins, which is the 5th circle, end of 5th circle, or you can say reaching the 10th point. Ishvara Mandala, that's when you cross. Then your reality begins. And if you read the Towards Infinity, he talks in detail about cosmic region. And he says it is the vast region. And he says reality, swimming in reality is like Rekistan, means like going in the desert. nothing exciting happens. Nothing interesting happens. It's a condition of blah. Blah means nothing. Right?
So we can just draw a correspondence between the points and the circles.
Yeah. Now the end of the reality is the bliss. So reality too has an end. Right now we can go back and see here. When I go into that central regions, I begin my bliss, state of bliss, ananda, they say. That is the natural characteristic of the soul. And the center, of course. Still, reaching central region is not the goal. There is much beyond it. Off the record, I can tell you a point during the break, but not now because it's being recorded.
We can pause it for a minute.
Yeah, let's pause it.
Yeah, pause it.
It's live.
It's uncomfortable.
It's live, I can't pause, not pausing it.
Not pausing it. This is being recorded.
It's not.
Alright, circles and regions, we just saw it without going in detail. Question? No? Okay. So there's a long reading, I'll quickly read through and we can touch upon any point. If, however, one feels himself short of the mark in that respect, he can resort to prayer. Prayer is is the key thing. It has a lot of things hidden under it. So these things, in fact, constitute the elementary steps on the path of mergence. When I sufficiently advanced with it, the possibility of fall gets considerably reduced. The only effective instrument for avoiding a fall is meditation on the form of master. A master in the true sense, of course. The process shall be much helpful in securing synonymity, which is one of the highest attainments on the path, and may be interpreted as an advanced state of mergence. The first 5 circles related with the sphere of Maya, as shown in the circle diagram in reality at dawn, extend up to that state of Avyaktagati, undifferentiated state. I'll talk about Avyaktagati. The next 11 circles cover the various states of ego to its final limit. The central region, which falls after the region of ego, also comprises 7 rings of what may, for the sake of understanding, be denoted as light. On having passed through 7 rings, attains the final state of complete freedom. So this is a journey, kind of giving a short synopsis. Vyakta, Vyakti. Vyakti we loosely translate it as a person. In Sanskrit it's called Vyakti, Vyakti. Vyakti means the person, loose translation. But the correct translation is Vyakti means that which is manifested. Avyakta means that which is unmanifested. So everything which is subjected to Maya, somehow we denote it as a manifested state. So The whole idea is to go from an manifested to an unmanifested state. But that is not the end. There is more. In fact, when I come out of this idea of manifestation, Yatta, I can say my reality has begun. Another definition. Let spirituality and reality begins. In spirituality, in a state of spirituality, I am still under the grips of Maya, illusion. Maya means illusion. So illusion means, what is illusion basically? What is that illusion we are talking about? I mean, that should have been the basic question.
Like an oasis.
Huh?
Like an oasis in a desert.
Yeah, that is okay, but what is illusion in this context? Illusion in this context is he and I are separate. That's the illusion. Right? He and me are separate. How much ever we know that it is not separate as an information, but as a feeling, no. So when that separation goes away, we call it mergence, of course. You know, mergence is only possible in the first point. So how much ever, wherever we go, we have to come back to the first point to merge. It's a very interesting thing I found. I mean, of course, in the literature somewhere.
So, in Towards Infinity, when Babuji writes that at every point one has to go through the Layavastha and then the stages of Layavastha,
Of course.
emergence. And so, what's the difference between that and what you're saying?
Yes. Okay, first, let's take a simile for us to understand it correctly, right? So, let me show you a notes rather. These are all my personal notes, of course.
Look at your laptop.
Thank you. I keep forgetting that. This is a question, how does one measure his or her own progress? Are there any benchmarks? Right? I think we are stumbling on this question again and again. So first and most important question is, what is progress? I mean, this is all my ideas I just jotted down, okay? And again, I cannot refer it back to any of our literature. In our system, there is a mention of stages of progress from point 1 to point 13 and heart region to central region. Do we call this movement as progress, or is it something deeper and profound than this? So is going from point to point is a progress, or it's something beyond, or something deeper? Above mentioned progress is only possible because Master is giving it. We are not doing anything for it. Of course, we are meditating, but he is giving that progress. But my role is to allow that progress and become deserving by my own efforts. As Daji says, if one is taken to the brighter world, and if you do not know how to handle that state, what is the use of taking one there? Right? So to me, first sign of progress is I'm taking interest in spiritual practice. That's the first sign of progress. Then the second sign is I am investing and engaging myself enough towards the mission. That's the second sign of progress. The third sign is when I start looking at meditation, cleaning, prayer as a need, not as a discipline. Just like we take food, water, and attend to other needs, this also becomes my need, an essential one, of course. So we do not pay any effort towards it. The fourth sign of progress is we feel gratitude towards that entity which made all these things possible. What is that entity? My Guru, our Master. And gratitude and service leads to love, and love leads to surrender. Means absolute cooperation. We talk about love. Love is nothing but absolute cooperation. Ultimately, the mergence happens. A true mergence is not of the disciple merging into the master. It is the master who is merging into the disciple. It's the other way around. It's always inverted, though you find everywhere. Right? So it is master who is merging into the disciple. This is a stage where master is surrendering to the disciple. It's the other way around again. So where is love? One may ask. So this is an example I came up with. I'll explain it to you. See, if a fetus in the mother's womb ends as a miscarriage, is a wrong example, but it explains. The mother only remembers it for a few hours, feels bad and forgotten that even it happened. So it happens after second, third, a little more painful. But as the child grows into a certain age, let's say for whatever the reason the child passes away, that mother takes that pain to the grave. It cannot be forgotten. What is the difference? What is the difference? The difference is, in the later case, where the child lived for 14, 15, 20 years, that many years that mother served that child. It thought about that child every minute. It looked after the child. So that means it basically served that child. The mother served that child. And through that service, one is it knows everything about the child. Number two is it developed that bonding with the child. So every aspect of the child is important for that mother. When that same child is a fetus, there is no connection. No service happened. Nothing happened. So it is not remembered. Right? So what happens is through the service, it developed a total love towards it, that entity which it served. Correct? So, the highest action in my opinion is service alone. So when I serve this mission master, then only I can develop a complete love towards this. Otherwise it's not possible. Just by mere meditation, reaching from central point, 1-2 point, central region, doesn't do anything. Unless I develop this full cooperation, full love, which only happens through service. Right?
Brother,
Make sense or not?
this one thing that you mentioned in spirituality, going from outward to inward nature.
Yes.
Right? And then staying in that condition and maintaining that condition.
Yeah.
And developing that constant remembrance is the real key. How do you tie service with this? Because service is still very external, I say.
You use the word maintaining the condition, though I did not say it. How do you maintain it?
Remembering it.
No, through
Keeping
service.
in touch with it.
Through service. Keeping in touch mentally, it's very difficult all the time. So when I'm engaged in service, it is easy for me to keep in touch. So there are a lot of things are possible through the service which are not otherwise possible.
But then it is like, it's like.
No, it's in a mundane situation where the mother is serving the child. How much it has developed towards that child? I mean, what state it has developed towards that child?
See,
It's an absolutely, I mean, it's unwavering. The dedication of that mother towards the child is absolute. Why? Because it served it. Right? It served it. Even if someone has adopted a child at a young age and served it, it's the same attachment. Though the child is not biologically yours. Why? But I cannot have the same attachment to any child I see on the street. I might show some sympathy and give some money to that child and say, oh, have some fun.
Yeah, but what I was referring to is if that service is gone, then the remembrance is gone.
If the service is gone, maintenance is gone.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's why it is, it's like praising or worshipping God, the deity.
Yeah.
If deity is not there, then that's why people have to go to temple.
Right.
Versus if we are able to connect with within, no matter where you are, you can turn your eyes here and it's connection. That's what I am trying to.
Yes. So the love only possible through service. If I want to create that in me.
But I think sister's point, if I'm understanding it right, is that it is an external action, and if one leaves it only at that level, it could become egoistic, it could become just for the sake of it. So it's the attitude with which one does the service that really might do the work.
Right.
Because that's what makes it internal, as opposed to just external.
Correct. So, I mean, the service, of course, we are offering is an external means, but, it is some sort of, then mission belongs to me, I belong to the mission. Right? See, mission is also serving you, but in turn you are serving. So both are serving each other. So both belong to each other.
So the need to belong to the mission is simply to have the continuity of
Yes.
engagement.
Engagement, yes.
See, mission and I are part one. We are not separate anymore.
You feel that because you served it.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, at one point,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, we are one.
Right.
Now, when the opportunity comes, I jump and serve.
Yeah.
But service is not. I did not depend on service to maintain my condition. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's not a mutual
Not
thing.
priority.
No, it is not a mutual thing. The thing is, suppose, you in your house you do all the chores. Why? Because it belongs to you. Okay. But it's not like, I feel happy to serve my house not because it belongs to me. So it's not, what I'm trying to say is, we don't go clean my neighbor's house as I do at my house, right?
Yeah.
Because it belongs to me. So there I don't really start looking at what that house is giving me or how it is treating me or how I am being treated or all those things doesn't come. But by that attitude itself, you can say it is mine. So here when I say it is mine, then what happens is, even that state which is created in me through the service and through the practice, it is mine. So that belongingness comes. I want to keep it.
So you're saying it's earned.
It's earned. It's belong to you. So what belongs to you, you don't throw away on the road.
Ownership.
Yeah, you own it. You don't want your neighbors to take it. You don't want robbers to take it because it belongs to you. So you don't. So Master said once, Chariji, we throw our heart on the street for everyone to, stumble it, break it, and then we come back with broken pieces. Oh, my heart is broken. So what belongs to you, you must keep it precious. It's your precious. Like, he says in the Lord of the Rings, right? So I must keep that precious close to me, not throw him on the street. Every time you throw your heart on the street, on whatever the name, form you call it, it is misused. It is not respected. Okay. So today, there are a lot of broken hearts, you see. You come across because that precious, they have thrown it on the street. They have thrown it where it is not respected. They have thrown it where it does not belong. Obviously, it is mistreated. So, maintaining means when it belongs to me, it is my precious. I have to take care of it. It's an automatic reaction, a natural tendency to take care of it. Right?
Take care of it, meaning the condition.
Yeah, that also belongs to you. Now anything belongs to my mission as mine. So I want to maintain it good. Whether it's ashrams, whether it's my house, also belongs to the ashram. Whether it's condition, my spiritual state, everything becomes precious.
So just to understand this a bit more, how would
Sure.
one differentiate this aspect from what happens in a temple or what happens in a church, and these...
It's no different.
It's no different.
It's no different. It should not be, because the emotion, the amount of your effort has put in is the same everywhere. Even in the work situation, right? If I develop something, I kind of feel it's mine. I feel proud about it. Right?
There is a beautiful word, apnao, own it.
Own it, yeah.
When you own it, when you take the accountability, it has a different...
So, but only the degree of the subtleties it creates, the subtle conditions it creates, is different from one place versus another. So anything we share, there is a part of me I am putting in there. Okay, anything we do. Even in a mundane communication, I am giving something. So we have to be cognizant of it, where I am putting my part of me. Right? Yes, boss.
At 3 o'clock we'll have tea.
Yeah.
Brother, before you close, I have a quick question before you close.
Yeah.
I'm serving.
Service.
By drinking?
No, reminding.
Okay. Brother, quick question before you close. Remember the point you had brought about those 4 statements? Religion, spirituality, reality and bliss. And your point you were going here is, what is reality?
Yes.
And Atul brother had said, gone of duality.
Yes.
What is your take on that? What is
No,
reality?
we did talk about reality, right?
But you talked about reality in the theoretical sense. But tell
In the
me
non-Maya
reality.
region.
What is how does
So now, in a state of reality, what happens is, I am out of the influence of the Maya. So when I am out of the influence of the Maya, illusion, so now to be practically, if I want to say what happens is, I recognize the need to be one with the higher essence. My need actually begins at that point. Until that point, this emergence, oneness with God, craving what we talk about, all this, the jargons I throw at is all information to me. It is not a real need for me. The need only kicks in once I'm out of this illusion. That's a practical way of looking at reality. Huh?
And then bliss.
Then bliss. Bliss is a natural phenomenon. So now the need begins for me. Now, should I wake up in the morning, rise before dawn or not is the question. To give you a crude example, if I want to go to the restroom in the morning, I don't think of a choice. Should I sleep for another half an hour or should I get up? The restroom. There's no choice there. Okay, so same thing. So when the need kicks in, now no more discipline. I have no choice but to fulfill it. That means I have no choice but to get up and meditate. Now no more discipline. No more making resolutions. From tomorrow onwards, I'll get up in the morning. It doesn't happen. And no more need for it.
Comes beyond discipline.
Yeah.
It becomes natural.
It's need, not natural. So it's essential.
Good.
Now I cannot go back. There's no going back. I have to move forward. I cannot stay, I cannot go back. So my only choice is to move forward. Right? That's reality. Because, like I said, like Babuji said, it's a condition of law. You don't want to stay there long. You want to get out of it. So that is reality. Let's see if anything good, interesting comes up and then we can end. Okay, someone was asking about knots. We'll finish this. This is, on Complete Works Volume 2, Messages of My Master. That's a name, except from that topic. So whatever the heading you see there in the presentation is the topic name. So there are certain granthis or knots in all regions. When the current of nature flowed down from the origin to effect creation, the jerks created knots which became centers of power. We spoke about a little bit in the morning about this, right? In the course of our swimming up through these currents, the knots begin to get unfolded through the power of meditation, making our advance easier and more smooth. Further, we enter the region which is purer and where the effect of granthis is greatly reduced. In this way, we go on to a stage by stage till we reach the point where Maya becomes almost extinct. So there are regions, there are knots. So a region, it is like it's a four-dimensional picture in fact, and we are trying to correlate in a two-dimensional. It's not possible. Okay. So suppose if I'm a mountaineer, I'm climbing up the mountain. Right? Now I'm on a certain point on the mountain. Now, how do you tell me where I am? depends on where you are looking at me. When what is your location and from what perspective you are looking at me, description of where I am changes. Right? So I am at a certain point is a knot, but I am at a certain surface area of the mountain is a region. Okay. So now as I pass through this region, so I am climbing the mountain like this, let's say. As I pass through a point and then I go to the region. As I am going, the effect of point in that region becomes subtler and subtler because now I have already passed it. And then I have to go to the next level, then I pass through the point and then go to the region and pass through the point, go to the region. Like this I am climbing. In fact, okay, let me kind of come to science and then come to spirituality, right? I don't know how many of you read this about entering a black hole. There is these are all presumptions, right? How someone enters a black hole. Have any of you read about it? You cannot go straight enter into a black hole. You cannot straight go through it. So basically you have to circle around and get dropped into the black hole. And most interestingly, even to enter a central region, that's how one enters. Just like how someone enters a black hole.
Point of no return.
No, you go through the circle to get dropped into the central region. Anyways, we'll stop it.
We have group meditation at 3:30.